stair climbing. At the Olympics. The world laughed. She gritted her teeth and pressed on, until a broken elevator brought her back to Earth. She had the fire of a reformer, the discipline of a monk, the obsession of a John Bircher with a palette of pamphlets. Her name was Carol, 52, divorced, a former corporate trainer with calves that could cut glass, and a personal vendetta against elevators. After surviving a house fire years ago by sprinting down 5 flights, she'd sworn off elevators for good, and eventually turned her staircase evangelism into a mission. Specifically, getting stair climbing recognized as an Olympic sport. Yes, those Olympics, where the likes of Jesse Owens, Nadia Comaneci, and Usain Bolt earned their gold medals and immortality. Carol was convinced that the next Olympic legend would earn his or her, or their, stripes climbing hundreds of flights of stairs. You can probably guess the reaction from the media. ESPN aired a 12-second segment under the chyron Staircase to Nowhere. A Chicago radio host dubbed her the Stair Witch of Skokie. Her sister called and said, "Carol, therapy. I know a guy." But Carol would not be denied. She launched a nonprofit called Vertical Victory. She lobbied Congress, went viral on TikTok with a montage of her racing up the Sears Tower in orthopedic sneakers, and collected over 350,000 digital signatures on a site that immediately sold her subscribers' data to a network of web designers based in Indonesia. But in spite of these setbacks, there was just enough positive momentum to keep her going. A congressman from Vermont endorsed her campaign, calling stair climbing the working man's triathlon. Conan O'Brien had her as a guest on his show, and although he stopped short of endorsing the idea, he didn't appear to oppose it. The final step, her personal Mount Everest, was a formal appeal to the International Olympic Committee. She managed to secure an appearance on the last day of their deliberations, so she flew to Lausanne, Switzerland, home of the IOC's headquarters, a glass and steel temple nestled on the edge of Lake Geneva. She stood before the committee in a tailored blazer and passionately made her case. The primal symbolism of ascent, the cardiovascular challenge, the promise of international unity around glutes and grit. The committee quickly and unanimously shot down her idea and added "with prejudice," which, for the uninitiated, is IOC speak for never come back. The committee didn't just reject her idea. They rejected her identity, her reason for living. Carol returned to Chicago with nothing but debt, a sunburn, and a craving for the emergency bottle of Jack Daniels she kept hidden behind her gluten-free pancake mix. This was a woman who had asked the world for a hand and had been given the finger. She arrived at her apartment complex in Evanston and jabbed the elevator button. There was a handwritten note on the elevator saying it was out of service. Next to the elevator was the staircase, 11 floors. One last climb. She considered waiting, sitting on the mailroom bench, calling her building manager, crying. But she didn't call anyone, nor did she wait for the manager. She slung her bag over her shoulder, muttered something about God and his sick sense of humor, and started up the stairs. Floor 3, her knees flared. Floor 7, she cursed the entire nation of Switzerland. Floor 10, she called her ex-husband just to yell at someone. Floor 11, she laughed. She laughed because she finally saw how ridiculous it really was. All of it. The campaign, the TikToks, the TED-style speech in Lausanne, the branded tote bag. Stair climbing. At the Olympics. She sank onto the carpet just inside her door, laughing and weeping in equal measure. Later that week, a friend forwarded her a news article. Chicago had won its bid to host the next Special Olympics. And unlike the IOC, these folks actually needed advocates for travel, housing, visibility, funding. Carol opened a new browser tab. She renamed her nonprofit and started climbing a very different staircase. Oh, and they fixed the elevator the next day.